Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Boys in the Boat Podcast, where this episode we're going to be going over our testimonies and like how we're linked together and how God has kind of proven himself in our life and just a little bit about that. And I guess I'll just go off with my name, Lucas. I'm Lucas.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Isaac.
Yeah. So I kind of just wanted to start off just explaining the reasoning and idea behind the name. Um, I feel like in the Bible we read a lot about very significant events that happened while in boats or very oceanal boats, such as like Noah and the Ark, Jonah, story of Jonah, and like one of the specific ones that I want to read. That's kind of like the key idea is Matthew 4:18 through 22. It says, "As he was walking along the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. 'Follow me,' he told them, 'and I will make you fish for people.' Immediately they left their nets and followed him. Going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with Zebedee their father, preparing their nets, and he called to them. Immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him." So kind of just like that chunk right there, he's calling them to leave their boats, just as he's called us to leave our boats. And then I just want to read another little bit connecting to that. Is Matthew 14:22 through 32. It says, "Immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and ahead of them to the other side, or immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side. While he dismissed the other crowds, after dismissing the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Well into the night he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat was already some distance from the land, battered by waves because the wind was against them. Jesus came towards them, walking on the sea very early in the morning. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. 'It's a ghost,' they said, and they cried out in fear. Immediately Jesus spoke to them. 'Have courage, it is I. Don't be afraid.' 'Lord, if it is you,' Peter answered him, 'command me to come onto the water.' He said, 'Come.' And climbing out of the boat, Peter started walking on the water and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the strength of the wind, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, 'Lord, save me.' Immediately Jesus reached out his hand, caught a hold of him, and said, 'You of little faith, why do you doubt?' They got into the boat, and the wind ceased. Then those in the boat worshipped him and said, 'Truly, you are the Son of God.'" So that little chunk kind of just, there's a lot that you're going to unpack there, but just boat is a big thing in that thing. So Peter climbs out of the boat in faith, and then Jesus puts him back into the boat out of love, and then they worship in the boat. So just a big calling in our lives to step out of our own boats and to step into his boat and worship him. If Isaac, do you want to start us off in prayer before we get started?
Sure. Father, I just thank you for these friends and brothers I have. I just pray that you use our voices to speak through us. Just allow us to uh, allow each other to step out of our boats into the raging winds of this world. And in doing that, we encourage others to do the same. It's in your son's holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll go off with our testimonies now. Isaac was going to go first or nah? Yeah. Run it up, boy.
Yeah, I can go first. Well, I guess I was brought up in a Christian household with my brother Lucas. Both parents stayed together, and we have a little sister Chloe. All through middle school, I had very lukewarm kind of faith, and towards the end of middle school, it was more so doubting my faith in general. And about halfway into high school, I had an encounter with the Lord after a youth group one night. First night going there, I had been roped in by my brother and some friends. So going there, coming back home, and having that encounter, uh, my life was radically changed from that point forward.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. I got next.
You got it.
So.
Yeah, wait, just to
Okay.
clarify,
So.
they're brothers, by the way. I don't.
Yeah.
That's really,
They
Yeah.
couldn't tell.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you couldn't
But
tell.
yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I don't have any notes written down, so this is just off the top of my head. I might miss a couple stuff, but let's see. Yeah. Like Isaac. I mean, we had the same parents. We still have the same parents. Uh. Both very Christian, very church going, like Bible reading, yeah, everything like that. Uh, the first time I felt conviction, I'll say that I went with our neighbor, and we went to Sunday school with him, and then I came back and said, "Hey, I got baptized to my parents when I didn't," and then I was like, "Yo, wait." That was a lie. I did. I remember that to this day being like something I regret so much, like just lying to their face. But yeah, and I felt that conviction even though I was not like very old. Like that was like 6 years old. But yeah, we go to this church. We went to a church in Kentucky called Quest, and I learned a lot about Bible there, like the Word, but it wasn't really like intentional. Like it wasn't God through me, like reading and stuff. It was more of just knowledge. So I wouldn't say I was really saved there, and I also didn't ask to be saved. But also after that, we go to this church called Grace Christian, and Easter actually, Easter the service was about the crucifixion, and I remember hearing that and being like, "Dang, someone would really put their life on the line for me after being like a dead, rotten sinner." And I just felt him, like that was literally God speaking through me. This is what you got to do. I'm here. What are you waiting on? So I gave my life on Easter. That was pretty cool. Uh, 2018 Easter, and then like Isaac said, we went to a youth group after Grace Christian because we switched over churches and we went Central, and uh, that's where I kind of met Nate sophomore year high school again. Me and him we knew each other in elementary school, which is kind of crazy. And then sophomore year we had like the same class for like 3 periods, and I kind of talked to him about coming and stuff. But I guess we'll stop mine there, and then we'll start with Nate's after that.
So 2018, you were how old whenever you got saved?
I would like to say 11. Let's see, 4. No, no. I think it's either 11 or 12. I was saved.
That's cool. How old were you, Isaac?
When I got saved,
Yeah,
15.
nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say my story is pretty different than you guys. Like my testimony is pretty different in that.
Which is great. That's great.
Yeah. Growing up, my parents like never got married or anything. They had me, and we like lived in like the rougher parts of town. So a lot of
We all grew up in Kentucky too, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah.
a lot of shootings and stuff happening. Like having experienced that as a little kid, moving in and out of places, different apartments, and stuff. I just want to make it clear too. Like I'm so blessed to have the parents that I do have right now, to love me so much through everything that's happened. But just like growing up in rough parts of the state, and then I feel like the only believer, like devout believer in my life was my grandma. So growing up, like I would have moments where I'd go to church with her after like spending the weekend there, and like I knew like I believed in God, but like I didn't. Went no farther than just I heard of Jesus before, but never really considered him seriously. So I think um, growing up, like just throughout elementary school and middle school, and even parts of high school, I got bullied like really heavily through those times. So it kind of caused me to um, be quiet and almost have like this form of like depression or like just very serious anxiety. Um, that I would go to school and just not say anything in fear of like somebody saying something about me or like making fun of me. And in middle school, I think is when it started to get really bad. I started to indulge myself in things that I was exposed to just to try to make myself feel like normal, I guess, and just have like that peace and try to fill that hole in my heart that at the time I didn't know what it was, but now I know it was Jesus. But so I'd say it hit its peak like um, worse, like the peak. I don't know the worst peak. I don't know what's the word for that.
The
But
valley.
yeah,
You were
well,
down in your ditch. You're
yeah,
down in the ditch.
where it got the worst at was probably my freshman year. Is just like I don't know. Is just seeking so much approval of people, um, and just like doing stuff, not even knowing why I did it, just doing it because other people did it. Not like drinking or smoking anything. I never did any of that, but just like the cussing and like just the way I would talk about people and to people. So it's just like a very sad life. And a lot of stuff was going on in my family at that time. It didn't help back home. Um, but I remember, so yeah, me and Lucas, we had the same class our freshman year as well, but I think we started to talk and like become friends again because we knew each other in elementary school around the summer
Hmm.
before sophomore year. And I think
Yeah.
the first month of sophomore year, he invited me to youth group. So like, kind of just like put it in theory. So we went to this like separate school for engineering, um, which is crazy because none of us are going to college for engineering right now. But we did that
Yeah.
for 4 years. But um, so that's probably you're probably there for like 3 hours of the day, like three
Yeah,
or
like
4 hours.
half of the day, pretty much.
Yeah. So we were walking over to the school from our high school, and he asked me about going to youth group with him that night, and I literally like I told him I don't know. I literally had no reason not to go, but the main reason I told him I don't know is because there is a separate youth group that I heard about, or like just youth group. I didn't know that there was like multiple youth groups in town, um, and I just heard about a lot of the people that would make fun of me and stuff, going to youth group and stuff. So I was really hesitant to go because I didn't want to be made fun of, or just still seeking that approval and validation of like what somebody would think about me. Um, so I eventually like called like he made me call my mom and ask her if it was okay. And I
Yeah.
eventually like got my
Made you.
well
I made you.
no, he didn't make me, but he heavily encouraged me to like he just wouldn't stop asking me about it until I like actually called my mom and asked her if it was fine. And of course she said yeah. Um, so I remember I think later on that day, that was like probably one of the first times I met Isaac, I think. Like
Oh yeah, you came to my house, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we drove back home, and Isaac brought a buddy as well. I remember just standing outside of your house. We were playing wall ball or something, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
remember like it's so vividly, like just standing out there, and I was just like cussing up a storm out there, like while we're playing wall ball and stuff. And I remember looking and seeing the camera at your house, like that's pointed towards the garage, and I was like, "Oh snap! They're never gonna let me back over here again." Which I don't think they ever touched that camera
Nah,
footage, but
I don't think it had the SD card in it,
yeah,
but it does
um,
now. It does now.
yeah,
Don't
um,
come to my house.
but
All right.
that's wild. But so after that night of youth group, I wouldn't say I felt anything very spiritually, but I felt very welcomed. Like everybody there made it like such a big priority to just say hi and just show me the love of Jesus that I didn't know at the time. So that attracted me, and I think I just kept on coming back every day since then. And me and Lucas started to become really good friends, and so did me and Isaac. I think my big encounter was um, So started at the start of the school year going to youth group. I continued doing it up until I never really stopped going. But excuse me. I ended up going to summer camp, their church camp that summer, and I felt like a very big conviction at that church camp, and that was like my first like serious conviction of like what am I doing with my life? Like I had the opportunity to have a relationship with a guy who like created me and made the universe, um, and it really hit me hard. So that was probably in June of 23 that happened, and then in August, like the week before school started, my junior year, I got baptized and dedicated my life to Jesus. Yeah, this was pretty cool.
But yeah, I was brought to the church by another friend, and we should have him on here actually too, and kind of him tell his testimony, and then us two like talk about because I was friends with the other guy too that brought me to the church that I brought Nate to, or not me, but like God through me brought Nate to, and just to hear how all the God just interlinks everything, literally like a long chain.
Yeah.
Like I know how people say like their life is like that rope of line, and it's just the red at the end of it. But I think it's more like literally this chain, everything interlinked together, that God has put it in place for you to follow and stuff. And I think that's just really cool in itself, just how He's brought us all kind of together and just for Him. And I don't know, I had a verse that just, I mean, it's pretty popular. Proverbs 17, 27:17. It's as iron sharpens iron, a brother should help another brother or something like that. Yeah, I keep muted, by the way. I don't know why I keep muting.
A brother sharpens another.
Yeah, that one. I just think that as we do this podcast and as we grow closer to another, we're sharpening each other to sharpen our word, our sword, as in the word, because the word is our weapon, and just to go out after this into the world and disciple people outside. And I think this is a very good tool to help us, and also anybody that listens.
Yeah.
They'll also feel encouraged by it. Hopefully.
Yeah, something really cool I feel like is you guys were very established. I wouldn't say very established, but you guys were established in your faith before I even like considered it. And knowing that God can still use people to you guys, not only did you guys help me grow in my faith, but like through conversations and Bible studies and stuff, I'm also able to help you guys.
Yeah.
grow
Yeah,
through
you've
faith and
helped.
stuff.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's kind of
But yeah.
that's kind of just like the main focus of this podcast. It's like it's good for people to hear it, but I think we're going to continue doing it if nobody listens to this.
Yeah, exactly.
The main purpose is for us to grow closer to each other through God, because we're in different colleges now. Like this is the first time we're actually like apart.
Oh yeah, we're all in college dorms all the way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They didn't even say that, but yeah.
Yeah. So just having this as like a source to grow closer to each other through God, and strengthen that relationship, that Christ-like relationship with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We still got time for sure. So, what's the topic?
What do you mean?
Oh, the topic was our testimonies. Well, this is just like the introduction. We just kind of want to introduce ourselves and kind of talk a little bit about our background and like where we're from and stuff. Yeah. And then we explain the name of the podcast and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else?
No, I'm just excited. I'm pretty hyped for this. What's God's gonna do with this, and just ready to see what happens through this. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I was about to say something. Mm. I don't know. I'm excited as well. It's just to have this opportunity with you guys. But
Hmm. We're very blessed to even be able to get on a call with one another. I mean, we're like an hour away, but still.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess that'll be it for this episode.
What's
Yeah.
what's the topic for next week then?
I don't know. Whatever.
Are we doing weekly or how are we doing this?
God willing, if we have another week. Yeah, stay in tune. You'll figure it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Hope to see you soon, I guess. Hopefully this
Yeah.
is consistent.
Tune in next week. We're gonna be talking about something else.
Yeah, whatever it may be.
More interesting than us.
Probably.
Something more interesting. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Peace.